Despite their image of being gun-toting street thugs, King 810 is one of the more experimental and unique bands in modern heavy music. This new album shows a little bit of a shift in focus, however. How does it stack up to the rest of their work? Well, let's see. Greetings, hard and heavy music fans. I'm Dante, this is the Heavy Haystack, and today I'm talking about the new album from King 810 titled AK Concerto No. 47, 11th Movement in G Major.
Why do bands keep doing these long-ass album titles? There's a fine line between artsy and obnoxious. Anyway.
AK Concerto is the fourth full-length album from American alternative metal band King 810, and is the follow-up to their 2019 album Suicide King. Formed in 2007 in Flint, Michigan, King 810 formed a rabid local following in their hometown before being signed to Roadrunner Records. They released their debut album Memoirs of a Murderer in 2014, which featured a raw nu metalcore style and frontman David Gunn's street-centric slam poetry vocal style. 2016 album La Petite Mort showed an increased focus on atmosphere and experimentation. It featured heavy cuts like Vendettas and their most popular song Alpha and Omega, which showed a sharpened version of their nu metalcore style with an increased focus on Gunn's lyricism. But also held softer tracks which had more in common with film soundtrack music, such as I Ain't Going Back Again and the La Petite Mort title track. The band went through a period of great change after that album, quietly splitting from Roadrunner Records to go independent. Their drummer and guitarist left the band, leaving the group as a duo, and David Gunn started a solo gangster rap project under the name Yavid and released several albums under the moniker. Suicide King came out in January 2019, and it was a bit of a departure from previous records. It featured much more of the trap rap style that David Gunn used on his solo records, and was overall a less heavy album. But it did feature interesting experimentation with atmosphere on tracks like Heartbeats and $1 Million, as well as softer film score-esque tracks like Wade in the Water and Black Rifle. That brings us to their new record, AK Concerto, which seems to put a bigger focus on being heavy, but more in the unorthodox and experimental style they displayed on their previous record, Suicide King. There are some tracks that hark back to their earlier style of heavy material, with track I Am the Enemy being an early album example. It's a fairly straightforward track with mostly conventional instrumentation. It's built around a thrashy yet groovy guitar riff that creates a frantic atmosphere for David Gunn to display his hip-hop beats hardcore vocal style. Suicide Machines has a consistent marching rhythm that seems to hark back to one of their older songs titled Desperate Lovers. Both of these tracks are to the point with their catchiness and their heaviness, built to be instantly enjoyable fun bangers. The band shows their more experimental style on songs like Red Queen, which leans heavy into the trap metal style. The drum production walks the line of sounding like a live kit and hip-hop 808s, with David Gunn spitting gangster rap bars where some of the lines hit hard and others not so much.
My bitch got an ass like the moon. That's a real lyric.
The song is still entertaining though and makes for a nice modern edition of rap metal. Another one of the highlight tracks is Dukes, which has a bluesy southern vibe to it. It sounds like a modern, harder version of an old southern blues track about being an outlaw, making for a track that both fits within King's sound while also making for an interesting outlier. Closing track 2A is another weird one. It has a dancey industrial vibe to it, which sounds like a more serious version of something that Powerman 5000 would do. I'm not sure if it's something most of King's fanbase would be down for, but it's a competent enough track for being so outside the realm of King's normal material. Outside of these tracks, however, the other heavy leading songs aren't quite as memorable. Hellhounds is just a passable track that leans heavily on a sing-along chorus that would probably come across better live than it does on record. Love Bomb puts a big focus on industrial atmosphere with a decent enough hook, but the rest of the song, including the verses, feels more like filler. The track Da Vinci Hands Pinocchio Nose follows almost the same structure and vibe of this as well. Two of the biggest things with King 810's sound that's drawn me to them in the past is David Gunn's haunting street poetry and their experimental songcraft, which often goes outside the lines of heavy music, and is best shown on their softer songs. Both of these elements are lacking on this record, where Gunn more often goes for typical hip-hop boisterism or simple hardcore aggression with his lyrics, and the soft ballad songs are almost non-existent. There is one exception in the track House of Dust, however, a mid-tempo power ballad of sorts with heartfelt lyrics dealing with love and acceptance. While simple in structure, the emotion displayed in the lyrics and atmosphere, along with the quality production and instrumentation, easily makes this the favorite track of the record. AK Concerto number 47 simultaneously feels like King 810 is playing it safe musically, while also throwing darts at a wall with trying new things. While you do have creative highs like the bluesy Dukes, Dancy 2A, or trap metal Red Queen, you also have the safe songs like I Am the Enemy, Hellhounds, and Suicide Machines, which sound like watered down versions of what the band has done before. As a fan of the band, I find this album fairly enjoyable because I've already been endeared to them with the past work they've done. But objectively, there's not much here to entice new listeners to give King 810 a chance, and this is definitely my least favorite album from the band. AK Concerto number 47, 11th movement in G major,
F that long ass title,
gets a 3 out of 5. It has its moments, and King 810 still sounds unique compared to other heavy bands, but the group definitely did not put their best foot forward with this record. What did you think of the album? Leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the Heavy Haystack if you want to see more videos similar to this one. Peace, love, music, and I'll see y'all next time.